Greetings all, this is Hairy Nick. How are you guys going? This right here is the desk where I record videos that I bring to you guys. And the reason we're shooting my desk today, because I wanted to make a little update for the channel, talking a bit about the road from X-Wing First Edition to the day we found out about Second Edition to now, just a couple of days before it's releasing. And what I want to do in this video is sort out all my First Edition cards, because frankly, first of all, I need the excuse to do it. And second of all, I've noticed a lot of people around the internet are destroying all of their First Edition content, which makes me very, very sad. By my nature, I'm a bit of a pacifist myself. I don't like destruction and violence and all that kind of stuff in general. Oh look, Second Edition card. Let's put that to one side. And yeah, I'm going to be wanting to play these at some stage on a casual basis, just messing around, that kind of stuff. I have this folder here which I've been using to sort of arrange my First Edition cards. It really needs a bit of a revamp. These cards have been sitting all over my desk for quite a while now, and I thought, hey, what great excuse to do this. So yeah, how did we get here? Basically, it was the end of March, start of April when Second Edition was announced. It feels like it wasn't that long ago, but it really was. It's been about 6 months, maybe 5, I suppose. Yeah, it's been ages. And I remember when we saw the announcement and they had all the things coming up on screen. It was all of the X-Wing ships that we were familiar with. No new X-Wing ships, so the announcement was not going to be new ships, and we saw all the different templates and stuff, and oh no, here we go. They're going to announce a new edition, and my first reaction to that was apprehension. I thought, oh no, I'm going to have to rebuy all the stuff, all that kind of stuff, all the standard things that people get concerned about when we see a second edition or any extra edition for a game that we like to play. And basically, FFG took no time in explaining, no, you have conversion kits, all that kind of stuff. To which I breathed a big sigh of relief. Nevertheless, here on the channel, there was still a very, very polarizing reaction. People were either really for it or really against it. There was really no middle ground in that first day. I remember the very next day, I managed to get just a first thoughts video up on what I thought of this. And yeah, the response was pretty divided, I must say. I just realised I have to think and talk at the same time. It's very dangerous. I've tried doing Let's Plays in the past, and that's always been a big challenge for me, so I'll do my best. But yeah, back when it was all announced, there was a lot of negativity, a lot of naysayers. That's all calmed down eventually. Those people have either moved on or just accepted it and have moved forward with it. It's completely up to you guys what you want to do with this. Obviously, I have my own opinion on things, but I never try and say you definitely are not allowed to not like Second Edition just because I do. I always try to present my arguments on the channel and my thoughts with a certain measure of facts and skepticism and all that kind of stuff. And yes, like anything moving forward, it just comes down to what we think. There was a certain degree of attitude in the community that, oh, this was going to divide the X-Wing community like nothing ever before, and everything was going to come crumbling down and the game that we love was going to be no more, and that clearly was never going to be the case. Indeed, I think a lot of the reactions were pretty overblown from the beginning, and I can take that personally. I could go, oh, people attacking me on my website and saying, oh, you're bad for liking this, blah, blah, blah. But I think ultimately the reason that there was such a strong reaction one way or the other is simply because people love X-Wing so much. It's a big part of our gaming life. For a lot of us, it's our only part of our gaming life. For me, I also play other games like Legion and Magic and all that kind of stuff. So, look, if X-Wing went away, I wouldn't have nothing to do at my local game store, but I certainly wouldn't have my favourite thing to do. X-Wing has been my favourite game for a very long time now. It's the game that properly got me into tabletop gaming. Even to an extent card gaming. I don't think I would have been as into it. I just realised I don't have any turrets yet. There's a pile for turrets. Beautiful. Yes, hopefully this is cathartic for some people, just watching the organisation of one's collection. I actually got the idea to make this video off another YouTuber. So, yes, sort of paying homage to Rudy from Alpha Investments. He does MTG finance videos. I'm not really into MTG finance myself, but I do find it interesting seeing the point of view of another YouTuber talk about a game that I love from a bit of a different point of view. Finances, of course, all about the secondary market and investing in Magic the Gathering cards, all that kind of stuff. Something I'm not fully against, but not something I partake in myself. Yes, so initially, pretty negative reaction, but everything started to sort of peter out. And indeed, earlier on, the coverage of 2nd edition was very, very positive for the channel. I got a lot of extra subscribers and all that kind of stuff, which is really good, but a few months after that, everything started to slow down again. And it really led me to realize that I really do have to look at getting a separate source of revenue to make this channel work properly. It's all well and good saying, oh, I should just do it for the love of it, but honestly, guys, I really do need to look at making a proper revenue from this channel. So in the next couple of weeks or so, I'll get a Patreon up. We'll start that going. The key thing when I do come to making a Patreon is I'm not going to hinder anyone's ability to watch my content just because they don't partake in that. You're still going to get all the same videos that you would otherwise. I'm just going to have to think of ways to reward people for participating in the Patreon. I'm thinking at this stage, we could do something like, where's my systems? There they are. We could do something like people that participate in the Patreon can have a better choice over what lists I review. We definitely want to get back into doing battle reports again, that kind of thing. The reason I'm not doing battle reports right now, by the way, guys, you may have noticed I tried doing that back in December, January, earlier in the year, late last year. And the simple reason why I haven't done it since then is because it takes up a lot of time. And currently where I'm living, it's just not super practical to do that. Oh, remember the Artcaster? Yeah, not do I. Okay, where do you go? Cannons, beautiful. So yes, looking to do that. Me and my girlfriend are actually looking at getting a new house, and when we do that, I'll have a lot more space. Bat wraps will be a lot more realistic. Apart from anything else, I'll live a lot closer to Justin and most of my local gaming stores and all that kind of stuff. And the logistics of everything should become a lot more easy. That's the plan anyway. Apart from that, I've been making sure to sort of move forward with the way we produce things on the channel, getting everything a bit more schmick. The camera that you're viewing this on, actually, I was asked about the technology that I use, so I'll talk about that right now. This camera here is a Panasonic G7, and it is linked to my computer and uses it like a webcam with the Elgato Cam Link. I'll put this up on the screen so you guys can see. Really useful device. It basically turns any camera with an HDMI output into a webcam, which is super great. Especially when you have a nice chunk of glass on the front. Webcams really can't achieve what a lens can achieve. You'll notice whenever you have a look at one of my videos where I'm doing the face cam, there's a nice bokeh blurred background, which you just can't get with a regular webcam. The picture looks a lot nicer. Now, it's a pretty low-level stock mirrorless camera. It's not the bee's knees in terms of still photography, but it's something I've been looking at for a while. I want to get more into stills photography. I've quite enjoyed the very little amount I've done for the channel so far. When I did the unboxing of the 2nd edition core set, we took some stills of that. I really enjoyed that. I want to get into doing some more of that. Especially if we get into playing more Legion on the channel, that would be fantastic. Legion, again, being one of those things which, yeah, I really realistically need a lot more space to do. Turrets, there you are. And I just need lots of space. There is realistically nowhere in this apartment that I currently live where I could set up a table of Legion. Not anything semi-permanent anyway. I'm not a big fan of having to sort of do things over and over again, set it up, pack it up, set it up, pack it up. Especially when I have like recording equipment, my computer, my mic, all that kind of stuff. Oh, yes, speaking of the equipment, this is my microphone as well. This is a Blue Yeti Blackout. I do enjoy the process of doing all this kind of stuff, working out how to use technology and all that kind of stuff. Also, from back in the day when I was doing Let's Plays, I have sitting here on the thing, hopefully I can just get this into shot. Yep, that's a little, what's called a AverMedia LPG light. This is just a device that you plug an HDMI cable in. It's in the back, you can't see it from here. And you press this button and it can record the screen. I've done that to do a few of the articles off of FFG's website. Very useful tool to have. Probably more required if you do like Let's Plays and that kind of stuff. but pretty fun nonetheless. And I've completely lost my train of thought. Oh yes, getting into second edition, what I want to be doing after that. So, when we get to actually having second edition, I want to make a point of really tightening up all the things we do on the channel. Leading up to second edition, there has just been, where's my modifications? There they are. There has just been so many things I've had to do sort of off the cuff, all the reveal articles, all that kind of stuff. And it basically led to me going, right, I really don't have a schedule. I currently still don't have a schedule. Got a nice misprint on this heavy laser cannon. I hope you guys can see it. Hang on, I'll just focus on that. I don't know where this came from, but it's like a missile cannon upgrade. Very, very weird. Oh, just get that focus back. And yes, I'm at the point now where I'm trying to look at what I do on the channel, decide what I should be doing regularly. And basically, the upshot of all this is the list reviews. It becomes such a big part of the channel. It gets such a big response every time I put out one of those videos. Thank you so much for that, guys. It really means a lot. And more to the point, when I started doing the list reviews about a year ago now, yeah, that sounds about right, just before PAX last year, I got a good response. I actually started making that because someone suggested it, so I don't remember who that was, but thank you to whoever that was. And yes, it built up quite quickly, and within a couple of weeks, I got to the stage where I was getting more lists in than I could review, which is a good position to be in, because then it gives me a bit of choice. I can sort of make archetype videos, lists centered around certain factions and ships and all that kind of stuff, which I will do when we start moving into second edition. There's going to be popular archetypes. Where are my missiles? There they are. And that will be good. But more to the point, I started doing these videos about a year ago. I'm already up to the stage where the Google Doc where I save all the lists, the second edition Google Doc is already bigger than the first edition Google Doc. I've only started taking submissions for second edition, just over a month ago when we got all the squad points costs. That just goes to show you how much it's grown, how much people are into second edition, how much people are into list building in general, which is really, really cool to see. I always try on the channel to sort of think, okay, as a YouTuber, what is my unique voice? And I was a bit apprehensive to do list building in the first place. I don't like to try and tell people this is what you must do and there's no other option. So I guess when I do list building, I try to make a point of going, hey, this is just how I do it, or this is what's best reflected in the meta. You might like this from a casual point of view, you might like this from a competitive point of view. I try to display all options, and I apologize if I ever forget to do that, because I obviously am very opinionated on X-Wing, otherwise I wouldn't make this channel. And yes, and just in terms of having a unique voice as a YouTuber, it's proven very positive. Oh, hang on, ship titles. Oh no, OCD going out of control. Sorry for whoever I bothered with that. So yes, I'm always trying to think as a YouTuber, like, what's my unique voice? And when I was starting out the channel, deciding what I was going to do, I actually started doing Magic the Gathering as well. And I was doing like card review stuff, preview articles, just like we have in X-Wing. And what I came to realize was I wasn't really, that knowledgeable about Magic the Gathering. There are people who have played the game far longer than me. Think the Saffron Olive from MTG Goldfish, Wedge, all those guys have been around much longer and have been doing Magic a much longer time. And they, as a result, they have this very unique voice. And I discovered, hey, maybe I should focus more on the game where I do think I have a more unique voice. And even from that point of view, I did notice that Magic, way more than X-Wing, has been getting a lot more coverage. I mean, Magic is a 25-year-old game now. X-Wing is, what, 2013? So 5 years old? I mean, it's not young. It's had a longer life than most games seem to enjoy. But nevertheless, X-Wing doesn't really have that much coverage on YouTube. And I guess what I do here on the channel goes some ways to kind of remedy that. Oh, geez, look at that pile. Just a fun fact about... Oh, hang on. This doesn't make good viewing, does it, guys? Veteran Instincts. I originally bought 2 fire sprays because I wanted 2 copies of Veteran Instincts. That's one of the ones that came in the expansion pack. And as soon as I started doing that, I soon after decided to go and play in shop tournaments. And that's when Veteran Instincts was given out as a shop tourney participation promo. So I had a lot of Veteran Instincts. I didn't really need to buy 2 fire sprays. I mean, I enjoy flying 2 fire sprays. Oh my god, I'm looking forward to flying 2 fire sprays in the 2nd edition. But yes, oh no, that's illicit. We're on to the next upgrade. Woohoo! There we go, beautiful. I'm tossing up what to do on Thursday night's tournament at General Games, which is where I'll be going to go to their little launch party thing, pick up my pre-orders, that kind of stuff. I'm thinking 2 fire sprays, I'm thinking Boba Lando. I'm not too sure, you guys. Speaking of what I'm doing with the channel moving forward, actually, yes, I'm going to make sure that our list reviews become weekly. I'm going to completely revamp the way we do them because it's such a strong pulling point for the channel. People seem to really react to it well. And when I started doing my list review videos, I did a short video on, hey, this is how I review lists. These are the kinds of things I look out for, blah, blah, blah. I will remake that video in a newer context, talking about 2nd edition cards. I am going to be making a short series on how to play X-Wing. I think this is a very important thing to have on the channel because I'm sure FFG will be doing their own version of, you know, the basic how to play rules, learn to play kind of thing. They do it with basically all of their games. They do it with X-Wing. Their original video has gotten quite a lot of views for that kind of stuff. And I feel like as a resource for new players, we can actually do a little bit better. I hope I don't sound too pompous when I say that, but I really think the basic how to play, learn to play video guides could be a bit better. So I'm just going to make my own rather than sort of complain or anything like that. And it's going to go through all the basic stuff, talk about all the different actions, not just the learn to play stuff. I'll cover every single action, the interaction on certain cards, why you might choose certain interactions, why you might choose to take certain upgrade cards, take certain action during the game, just stuff like that, just a base level primer. So on the channel I have something that newer players can kind of hook into. Oh god, all these pulse ray shields that came with the Sea-Rock Cruiser. All my stealth devices that came with every other ship that Scum Faction had for some reason. It's just occurred to me, guys, that this is going to take far longer than I intended this video to go, so I'll just make a point of stacking all these in a pile. I'll get these into a folder at a later time. I'm not going to make you guys sit through all of this. We're already at 20 minutes. I just want to say a huge thank you to all you guys. The support on the channel has been fantastic. We're very close to 4,000 subs now. Really pushing towards 5,000 subs now. Hopefully we get that within the next couple of months. If you have anyone that you know that would like the content on the channel that you don't know if they watch it or not, please tell them. Any support I can receive is fantastic. When I do get around to making a Patreon, please consider supporting that. I, of course, understand that people, for whatever reason, can't monetarily support things. And look, I'm not going to make your experience on the channel lesser just because you don't do that. That's a very important thing I want to push forward with. Where's my tech? There's my tech. So yes, just a huge thank you, guys. And in the comment section below, tell me, please, how did you find out about the channel? And also in the comment section, any suggestions for what I should be doing soon, because I've found more than anything else on the channel, just reacting to various comments, taking suggestions from people has really led to some great things on the channel. As I said before, the biggest mainstay on the channel, the list review section, has become ballistic, and that was off the back of someone's suggestion. So anything at all, please let me know. If you'd like to see more bat reps, I can look at doing that. Just be aware that yes, there are logistics involved with that, practicalities and all that kind of thing. The main reason I don't do a lot of bat reps is because it simply takes so much longer than any other style of video. Oh, also one more thing before I wrap all of this up, I have to talk about some upcoming events because we have the Australian Nationals coming up. And I've decided I really should get off my ass and actually record some kind of video content and a major tournament. I think that's going to be a very good thing to have on the channel. So I will be doing that. That is going to be held just outside of Sydney, not here in Melbourne. So it's going to involve a plane trip and a nice weekend away with my girlfriend up in Sydney. That'll be good fun. Not that I'll have much time to spend with her after the X-Wing tournament, but that's going to be absolutely awesome. One of the things I was talking about recently on the channel was Let's Play Games and the whole issue with the under-ordering of the Store Champs kits, which ultimately led to our local supplier in Australia being a lot more open with the way they... Where's my Astromech? I don't have an Astromech pile. There it is. With the way they order stuff, making sure, hey, this is the point in time where we're going to solicit stores to potentially host a national tournaments or Store Champs or anything like that. That's not an elite pilot talent. There it goes. Which is fantastic. And we had that all happen on Facebook. Let's Play Games told us, hey, we're soliciting the nationals. And a really good thing happened out of the back of that, actually. One of our local shops here, the manager posted and asked everyone here in Australia, hey, where would you like the nationals to be held? And they had a lot of conversation, a little bit of arguing, unfortunately, as people tend to do with state rivalries, which I think is a bit silly, but anyway. And yes, ultimately, most people voted for New South Wales. It seems to have the biggest hub of X-Wing supporters and players, so that's why it's going to be in New South Wales, in Sydney. So yes, look forward to that. Also, we have PAX coming up soon. Very, very soon I should have an announcement regarding PAX, so stay tuned for that. I can't absolutely confirm what that's going to be just yet, so stay tuned for that. In the meantime, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'm going to get these back into this folder, slash this folder, get these nice and organized, tuck them away, and get ready for second edition. Like and subscribe, like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter and Reddit, and I will catch you guys later on. Fly casual and stay awesome.